Welcome to Loews Royal Pacific Resort, my favorite resort on all of Universal Orlando property. This is not necessarily the closest resort in walking distance, but at 5 to 10 minutes, it's a pretty short walk, or you can take the boat. So as you saw me walking from the parking lot, you park right across and then just walk right up. And then one of my absolute favorite things about this resort is walking into the lobby area and just inhaling the scent of this resort. It is absolutely divine. It smells like fresh ocean breeze. And I cannot think of this resort without thinking of that scent because it smells like that every single time we go. When you first walk in, you'll see the fountain and the courtyard. And if you veer to the right, this is where you're going to see the bathroom, the gift shops, the bars, how you get to the restaurants, and even how you get to the pool. But if you veer to the left, you're going to immediately see the desk over here where you pick up like your express passes and if you have like a gift box or something like that. And then if you continue on right here, you can see the check-in desk for your hotel. So you'll go over there and just check in, make sure your credit card's on file and all of those things. And then as you walk down further on the other end of the check-in desk, you'll see the Tuk Tuk Market. This is where you can go in and get like snacks and Starbucks and all sorts of other goodies. And you can also get a resort refillable cup. Now, one thing I want to mention is how Disney does their inside the resort cups, but they don't do them outside in the parks. Universal has both options, but they are not one and the same. So just know that if you get a cup for the resort, it's for the resort. And if you get one for the parks, it's for the parks. So moving on to the courtyard. And speaking of Tuk Tuk, this is where we like to come out after we've stopped into Tuk Tuk and grabbed our Starbucks for the morning so we can just come out here and chill and experience some peace, quiet, and serenity before we hit the parks for some fun, adventure, and adrenaline. It's just a really great way to start your day, especially before all the noise and excitement of the parks. And at nighttime, we would even come back here and just grab something to drink and again, just chill out because at nighttime, everything's lit up and it's just really peaceful. And both in the morning and the evening, you can just hear the water and it's just very nice. And if you remember when I first walked into the resort, I said to the right is where you will find the gift shop, the bathrooms, the restaurants, and all that good stuff. So there's this set of stairs. You walk down here and then you will get down to the restaurants on this level. And it's also how you get to the main floor where you can go out to the pool and then get to transportation to go to Volcano Bay and also where all the shops are. And onto our room tour. We just got the standard size room, which this was more than adequate for us, for 3 of us. It had a nice big bathroom. I loved the big walk-in shower, plenty of counter space and storage. So this was a great room. I will say though that we opted for the water view and I don't think it was really worth it. Not in this case. We just basically got like a little river or creek or something running down below. Not worth spending the extra money, but as I said, it was a pretty good sized room. It was very comfortable. Beds were super comfortable. And again, plenty of storage. You can see the closet over here. We had plenty of space. And then to the left, you saw that little space where, we could leave suitcases if we didn't want to put them inside the closet or anything. So, and then as with before, stepping back. So when I mentioned going down those stairs to get to the shop and the pool and everything, this is where you end up when you come out those doors. And right up here in front of us, you will see this is where the shop is, where you can get like bathing suits, sunglasses, and all sorts of other gear. And then to the right here, you'll see this is the main swimming pool. And then let's take just a quick little look around at the front of the shop here. And of course, again, to the right here, you see the pool. And then if you continue walking down this way, you're going to find a couple of things. So first off, you are going to find to the right, the path to the boat. And if you keep going straight down that long hallway that you just saw, you will get to the transportation to get on the shuttle for Volcano Bay. But going on down here to this path to the right, this is where you get on the boat so that you can go to Universal, like the parks, where you actually end up in CityWalk. And then from CityWalk, you can walk into Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios. You'll also want to keep an eye out because while we were here waiting on the boat, over in the corner here, we actually saw some really adorable little turtles just swimming around in their own little world. It was really cool. And then, of course, the boat or the water taxi, whichever you want to call it, will show up and they will unload all of the passengers that they had previously. Takes a minute or two usually, and then they will let you get on. This water taxi, boat, whatever you want to call it, comes by about every 15 minutes. It does usually start about 30 minutes before early park admission. So if you are wanting to do that on this, you will want to get out there ahead of time in order to make the early park admission to get in and take advantage of that when you are staying on site at your resort. Now, I will say that generally it's going to take you longer to take the water taxi over to the parks, which if you're not really caring about how long it takes you, it's just a nice, easy, relaxing way to get to and from the parks. I will say where we mostly like to utilize this is after we had been in the parks all day, we were hot and tired, and really, even though it's just a short 5 to 10 minute walk from the parks back to the resort, there were times where we just were just too tired and hot. So we would just go sit and wait under the shade and then take the water taxi back to the resort. So especially when you've been shopping and you have lots of things to carry, it's just a nice little extra that saves you at the end of the day when you are hot and tired and just want to go back to your resort. I hope that you enjoyed this tour of Loews Royal Pacific Resort at Universal Orlando. As I mentioned, this is my favorite resort on this entire property. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel while you're at it so that we can bring you even more amazing travel content. There is a lot that goes into planning a theme park vacation, whether that is Disney or Universal, and each one is very different. And so this is first off, whether you're going to stay on site or off site, which by the way, I will never ever recommend staying off site for either theme park because there are so many benefits to staying on site that far outweigh any kind of minuscule benefit you might get by staying off site. So speaking of being on or off site, if you are staying on site like I would recommend, it would depend on a lot of things. First of all, which theme park are you going to be in? Because that looks completely different depending on if you're at Disney or Universal. Are you going to stay in a value resort? Are you going to stay in a premier resort? There are definitely benefits to both depending on the park you are in. There's also how many days you have to stay, what type of promos are going on at that time that's going to fit with your schedule. You also have to consider whether you are flying or driving because that may eat into your time if you're driving. And then with Disney, you have to decide whether you want to get a meal plan or not. And if you are going to get a meal plan, which one? And then there's the simple question of which theme park do you want to visit, or do you want to visit both? Both parks will tell you that they are age appropriate for all ages, and that's true to a point. If you find all of this overwhelming, don't worry, we can help. To get started, visit us on the web at dreamversetravel.com so we can help you make your vacation planning easy. Oh, and if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.